about the home inspection. What do you and the other inspectors do when you arrive at someone's house?
One of us will start on the inside of the house, one of us will start on the outside of the house. One of the major components and the things that buyers are most scared about is the foundation. So we're looking for visual cues that might indicate that the foundation has moved or is out of level. One of the great things about Super Inspector is all our guys carry a zip level. This is the same instrument used by foundation repair companies and structural engineers to measure the foundation to see how far out of level it is. Most home inspectors do not carry this equipment. All of those super inspectors carry this equipment. So if we start seeing cracks in the brick, doors that don't close, windows that won't open, cracks in the sheetrock, we know that there's been some movement. We'll get the zip level out, we'll measure the foundation, we'll be able to tell you if it is out of level and might need further evaluation for repair.
I think a lot of inspectors view the roof from binoculars or maybe get it on the ladder. How do super inspectors look at the roof?
Home inspectors are regulated by the Texas Real Estate Commission. And the Texas Real Estate Commission requires all home inspectors to walk on the roof, but it gives them some outs. If the roof is not safely accessible by the discretion of the home inspector, then he can look at it either from the edge of the roof or through binoculars. At Super Inspector, we make every attempt to get on every roof because you can't really see hail damage from binoculars. You need to be on the roof to see that. And oftentimes it's not a question about whether the roof is going to leak or not, it's is the roof insurable? And if an insurance company sends an inspector out there before they issue the insurance and they see a few hail dings on the roof, they're not going to insure it. So we need to be able to give you that information. The Texas Real Estate Commission regulations require home inspectors to carry at least a 12-foot ladder. Our guys carry 18-foot ladders, so we're able to access more roofs than the minimum standard. We're always trying to go above and beyond to give you the best service.
Excellent. And what about HVAC? Is that something we look at?
Yeah, that's a major component of the house, mainly because of the expense of replacing that item. So we're going to do HVAC tests to see that it's operating properly. Also, because all our inspectors are equipped with a thermal imaging camera, we can look for leaks in the air ducts, leaks around the plenums, things like that, and give an accurate temperature reading from the return and supply air, which really indicates how well the system is operating.
I noticed a lot of details about drainage on your reports. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, grading and drainage is the #1 cause of foundation failure in the Metroplex. If you don't have good drainage around the foundation, then you can get water pooling near the foundation. And because of our highly expansive clay soils, if water pools near the foundation, the soil will expand and it will push the house up in that area while the rest of the house remains constant. That can cause the foundation to break and lead to failure, which then might require expensive repairs.
And nobody wants that. I think as new buyers, not only is foundation and roof on their mind, but termites.
Yeah, all our inspectors are licensed to do termite inspections. So we do a visual inspection of the property to see if there's any evidence of previous infestations, active infestation, or previous treatment. And not only is there termites, but there are other wood-destroying insects that can affect the home. The two most common in the Metroplex are subterranean termites and carpenter ants. Other things that we might find are white pocket rot, which can affect the structural members of the roof or the foundation or the crawl space if it's a pier and beam house, and wood-boring beetles that can also affect those structural members. So we're certified and licensed to look at all those things.
You know, there's always going to be issues with homes. These are just things that we just are trying to uncover, right? So
yeah, every home has issues, and so when you get a home inspection report, it might be long with a lot of items on it, but you have to really look at each item and measure the importance of it.
You know, we're talking about existing homes, but what about new construction? Would somebody need an inspection on that?
You know, I did an inspection on a new construction just yesterday. and the report was 36 pages long.
Oh my goodness.
So there were a lot of things that the builder needed to address. And the other thing you have to realize is that builders build to code, and code is the minimum standard. So your home inspector might have several recommendations that can improve upon the code and make the house perform better, as far as grading and drainage is a big one, HVAC improvements, and energy efficiency improvements.
So you mentioned earlier something about an infrared camera. What are we doing with that thing?
Well, an infrared camera measures surface temperatures, so you can see variations in surface temperatures. So in many cases what we find is where there's missing insulation in the wall or the ceiling. I find that a lot on new construction where they just forgot to insulate above a room. It might have been a room that was not easily accessible, the attic area above, so they didn't go back there and blow the insulation. We find insulation missing in vertical walls for whatever reason. And also, if there's moisture trapped in the wall, oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes that will show up as a cold spot on the wall, and the infrared technology will show that temperature variance, and then it's up to the home inspector to evaluate that area further to see if there's a problem.
So we talked about new construction. What about a house that's really old? Like our last house was built in 1906. That would be a pier and beam home. What do we do those?
We do pier and beam homes, and we've done several inspections in historic downtown McKinney, older areas of Dallas, and all throughout the Metroplex. And they're interesting. In McKinney we find homes that are still being supported by tree stumps as the foundation. And that's the way they built them prior to 1950. And so those have unique challenges, and they take a trained person to look at those, because just because it's supported by a tree stump doesn't mean it needs to be renovated. The tree stump may be working just fine, and so the right person can tell you exactly what needs to be done. Also, on most of those older homes, the house is not going to be level. You're going to find in older homes the floors are sloping throughout, and that doesn't necessarily mean the foundation needs repair. As a matter of fact, they really don't like to level older homes, because once you start pushing parts of the home up, you can damage the structure. So as long as it's properly supported, that's the main concern.
So that old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's right.